Mwai Kibaki was a Kenyan politician who rose to the highest office in the country, serving as Kenya's fourth president. His time in leadership, however, was marked by both significant progress and deep national controversy. The most defining crisis of his presidency followed the 2007 general election, whose outcome was fiercely disputed. Former Prime Minister Raila Odinga publicly rejected the results, alleging that the election had been rigged. These claims triggered widespread post-election violence, a dark chapter in Kenya's history that resulted in the deaths of more than 1,300 people and the displacement of over 600,000 citizens across the country. Kibaki's administration had come into power on a strong anti-corruption platform, promising transparency and reform. Despite this, his government was later rocked by several high-profile scandals. Among them were the Anglo leasing scandal, which involved questionable multi-billion shilling security contracts, the Grand Regency Hotel saga, and allegations of mismanagement of funds within the Free Primary Education Program, a flagship initiative of his presidency. Politically, Kibaki also faced criticism for allegedly abandoning a pre-election Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) that had been agreed upon with coalition partners before his rise to power. Additionally, his leadership was frequently accused of being influenced by a powerful inner circle that critics labeled the Mount Kenya Mafia. These accusations were rooted in claims of tribal favoritism and nepotism, with opponents arguing that key government positions were dominated by individuals from his home region. On a personal level, Kibaki's private life occasionally became the subject of intense public scrutiny. He was widely rumored to have had an affair with Mary Wambui, a prominent businesswoman who later served as the Member of Parliament for Othaya. Kibaki, however, firmly denied these claims and publicly stated that he was married to only one wife, Lucy Kibaki, dismissing any suggestion of a second relationship. Despite these controversies, Kibaki's leadership also coincided with a period of strong economic recovery and growth. When he assumed office in 2002, Kenya's economy was struggling. Under his administration, inflation was brought under control, fiscal discipline was strengthened, and the country recorded an average GDP growth rate of approximately 5 to 7% during his second term. His presidency also delivered major policy and structural reforms, including the introduction of free primary education in 2003, the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution, and large-scale infrastructure development, most notably the construction of the Thika Superhighway. Mwai Kibaki passed away on April 21, 2022, at the age of 90. His family chose not to disclose an official cause of death, maintaining strict privacy regarding his health in his final days. Following his death, new controversies emerged that further complicated his legacy. A man named Jacob Ochola Mwai, and later a woman identified only as JNL, came forward claiming to be his biological children. These claims sparked ongoing legal battles over his estate, which, as of 2026, remain unresolved in court. So, who was Mwai Kibaki? A respected economist, a reformist leader, a controversial political figure, and a president whose legacy continues to provoke debate long after his death. This is his story. Mwai Kibaki, Kenya's third president, was a man whose life journey mirrored the evolution of the nation itself, from colonial rule through independence to constitutional reform and modern statehood. Born on November 15, 1931, in Gatuiani Village, Othaya, Nyeri County, he entered the world as the last-born child in a large Kikuyu family of humble peasant farmers. At baptism, Italian missionaries gave him the Christian name Emilio Stanley, though throughout his life he was best known by his traditional name, Mwai Kibaki. He was the son of Kibaki Githinji, also known as John Githinji Kibaki, and Teresia Wanjiku. As the youngest of 8 children, Kibaki grew up surrounded by older siblings who shared the heavy responsibilities of rural life. His elder sister, Waifterero, played a particularly important role in his childhood, often caring for him, while his brothers, Bernard and Deritu, Philip Murithi, and Samuel Murithi, worked alongside the rest of the family in tilling land and herding livestock. Kibaki's early years were shaped by farm life. Like many children of his generation, he spent his days herding goats and cattle and helping with cultivation. In 1939, his father enrolled him at Gaptuiani Village School, run by the Consolata missionaries. Local lore suggests that this decision was influenced by the perception that young Kibaki showed little enthusiasm for manual labor, a trait that would later be replaced by an exceptional appetite for learning. His education continued under missionary guidance at Karima Mission School, where he studied for 3 years before moving to Mathari Boarding Primary School, later known as Nyeri High School, between 1944 and 1946. There, he not only excelled academically, but also acquired practical skills such as carpentry and masonry. His secondary education at Mongu High School from 1947 to 1950 marked the beginning of his academic distinction. He graduated with the maximum 6 points in his O-level examinations. In 1951, Kibaki joined Makerere University in Kampala, Uganda, then the premier institution of higher learning in East Africa. He studied economics, history, and political science, graduating in 1955 with first-class honors in economics. He made history as the first Makerere student to earn a University of London degree, and his leadership abilities were evident when he served as vice chairman of the Makerere Students' Guild. His academic brilliance earned him a scholarship to Britain, where he attended the London School of Economics, LSE, from 1956 to 1958-59. There, he completed a Bachelor of Science in Public Finance with distinction, becoming the first African to graduate from LSE with a first-class degree, a remarkable achievement that cemented his reputation as one of Kenya's finest minds. Over the years, his intellectual contributions and leadership were recognized through numerous honorary doctorates, including Doctor of Letters and Doctor of Laws from the University of Nairobi, Doctor of Laws from Makerere University, Doctor of Science from JKUAT and Masinde Muliro University, and a Doctor of Education from Kenyatta University. Kibaki began his professional life outside politics. Shortly after graduating, he worked briefly as an assistant sales manager with the Shell Company of East Africa in Uganda. He later returned to Makerere as an assistant lecturer in economics between 1958 and 1960, teaching at the same institution that had shaped him. In 1960, he left academia to enter politics, becoming the first national executive officer of the Kenya African National Union, KANU. In this role, he played a key part in drafting Kenya's first independence constitution. After independence in 1963, Kibaki embarked on a political career that would span over 5 decades, making him Kenya's longest-serving member of parliament, representing Donholm from 1963 to 1974, and Othaya from 1974 until 2013. His government service began as Parliamentary Secretary to the Treasury, 1963 to 1965, followed by appointment as Minister for Commerce and Industry, 1966 to 1969. From 1969 to 1981, he served as Minister for Finance and Economic Planning, a period during which Kenya experienced notable economic growth and fiscal stability, earning him widespread acclaim. In 1978, he became Vice President of Kenya under President Daniel Arap Moi, serving until 1988. After a political fallout, he was transferred to the Ministry of Health, a position he held until 1991. That year marked a turning point. Kibaki resigned from KANU and founded the Democratic Party, DP, becoming a leading figure in opposition politics. Although he lost the presidential elections of 1992 and 1997, he emerged as leader of the official opposition from 1998 to 2002. In 2002, Kibaki achieved his greatest political victory when he was elected Kenya's third president under the National Rainbow Coalition, NARC. His presidency was defined by major reforms and legacy projects, including the introduction of free primary education in 2003, the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution, and expansive infrastructure development, most notably the Thika Superhighway.
Kibaki's personal life was anchored in his marriage to Lucy Muthoni, whom he met in 1959 at Makerere University. They married in 1961 and remained together for 55 years until Lucy's death in April 2016. Lucy was a formidable and outspoken First Lady who fiercely defended their marriage, famously compelling Kibaki in 2009 to publicly declare on live television that he had only one wife, Lucy. Together they had 4 children, Judy Wanjiku, Jimmy Kibaki, David Kagai, and Tony Githinji. While largely private, the family has been thrust into the public eye through estate and succession disputes following Kibaki's death. Throughout his life, Kibaki faced persistent public controversies. Media reports frequently linked him to Mary Wambui, an influential businesswoman and later MP for Othaya, though State House consistently denied any marital relationship. After his death, further controversy arose when Jacob Ochola Mwai, and later a woman identified as JNL, claimed to be his biological children, leading to ongoing court battles as of 2026. His wealth has been another subject of intense debate. While media estimates once placed his net worth between Kenya shillings 20 billion and Kenya shillings 150 billion, court filings by his family in 2025 declared assets worth only Kenya shillings 50 million, a figure strongly disputed by objectors. His estate reportedly includes extensive real estate, vast ranches and farms, significant corporate shareholdings, and investments in hospitality and agriculture. As of early 2026, the High Court continues to audit these assets amid allegations of secrecy and undervaluation. Kibaki's presidency was also marred by major national controversies. The 2007 general election led to disputed results and post-election violence that claimed over 1,300 lives and displaced more than 600,000 people. His administration, elected on an anti-corruption platform, was shaken by scandals such as Anglo leasing, Grand Regency, and mismanagement allegations within the free primary education program. Politically, he was criticized for reneging on a pre-election memorandum of understanding and for presiding over what critics termed the Mount Kenya Mafia, accusations rooted in claims of tribalism and nepotism. Mwai Kibaki died on April 21, 2022, at the age of 90. His family did not publicly disclose an official cause of death, maintaining privacy around his health. It was widely known, however, that he had been unwell for some time, battling conditions such as high blood pressure and long-term complications from a serious 2002 car accident. He was admitted to the ICU at Nairobi Hospital a day before his passing, and his death was largely attributed to natural causes associated with advanced age. In death, as in life, Mwai Kibaki remains a deeply influential and contested figure, remembered for intellectual rigor, economic stewardship, and transformative reforms, yet also shadowed by unresolved controversies that continue to shape public discourse in Kenya.